Hello, this is Beverly with the Intuitive Interior. It's time for the February 2025 I Ching reading. So, the first thing I want to do is just welcome everybody officially to the year of the snake. This is the Yin Wood snake year. And it's definitely a much different energy than the intensity that we had from the dragon year. Um, but there's a snake does a lot of transformations. So as I've already discussed in a previous episode, uh, just there's a lot going to happen, and it's going to just keep on keeping on. It's a very consistent, steady energy. Um, Now, I say officially because by the time I'm recording this, the Lunar New Year celebrations have already started. They again started on the 29th of January. But today, exactly today, it was this morning. Now I can't remember exactly the time, but that's when the energy shifted for practitioners of Chinese metaphysics. So when we are calculating people's astrology charts, it is starting on February 3rd. That is the okay. This is the solar cycle. That's when we start. It's not always on the lunar part. It's the solar part. So now that I've got that out of the way, the Earth Tiger, the Yang Earth Tiger hexagram is number 55, abundance, and it's a image of a woman clearly dressed in her finery. It's a little not necessarily super clear as to the clothing, so it kind of gives you a little bit of an idea, but it appears that she's just very, very happy, feels very, very calm, very abundant. Um, the hexagram on this is we've got the fire trigram underneath the yang wood trigram. So if you look over here, that's the fire, and this is the yang wood. It's also referred to as the thunder trigram. When you combine those together, that's how we end up with this particular card. And the words on here are plenty, profusion, generosity, fertility, ripeness, inner riches, reaping rewards, culmination, and harvest. Many people are not feeling particularly abundant right now, and so that feels a little like, ooh, how can I be abundant in this, this what's going on here? But if you switch your perspective, you can actually see exactly how this is an incredibly abundant time of the year because we are coming out of the winter part. We are entering into we've left the winter part of the year. We're moving into the springtime, the early springtime energy. That is the beginning of abundance. That's the surging of the energy as plants begin to like do all their planty things and start to begin the growing process. um, Granted, there's still a lot of cold weather to go through, but the days are getting longer, the days are getting warmer. In the case here in Texas, entirely too unseasonably warm, but it is happening. The other thing to we also remember about abundance is that this is the pinnacle. This is, usually when you get to that abundant place where you like, okay, I've achieved my goals, I've gotten what I've asked for, I've worked really hard, everything is here. There comes a point where that here has to start coming down. So being, where it is important to appreciate this time right now and not to let yourself get in that scarcity mentality of, oh, wait a minute, if I've gotten everything I needed to get, oh no, that means there's probably not any more for me to get. And that takes you back into that scarcity mentality. So when you can enjoy what you have around you, just really, really enjoy it. Maybe that abundance for you are new sheets for your bed. Maybe it's the same sheets that you had, but put a little linen spray on it. Really make yourself feel abundant. That is an easy thing to do. Perhaps it's you being generous and sharing something with somebody else. If you don't have much, bake them some bread or cookies, or just simply share your smile. So that smile, that good attitude, is also a huge sign of abundance, because sometimes people just don't have what you have at the moment. Maybe you have a little extra joy. So this is your call to share that extra joy with other people. Now, the clarifying cards I thought were also a little interesting. The first clarifying card that came out was number 41, decrease. You can see that there's a shrub that looks like it's in the process of losing its leaves in the front, with a um, uh, evergreen tree behind it, and a real thin toenail of a crescent moon behind it. This has the um, where's he? The Dui, which is yin metal, underneath the yang earth, gen. And this combination is uh, talking about decrease. It says decline, cutting back, frugality, contraction, letting go, less is more, resourcefulness, and a sacrifice. This feels a little bit more uh, personalized, because as I was shuffling these cards in this deck, I normally just draw them, but the all three of these cards, they all literally flew out as I was shuffling, and it's like, okay, this is the sign that I'm supposed to share this. So this is focus line 2, and um, the focus line says, once we've been stripped of whatever it is that must be taken away, we are vulnerable, laid bare, and it may be that you need help or support from others. And there's no shame in this. Mysteriously, only after you have experienced the necessity of letting go are you able to be empathetic to the plight of others and to sincerely give from the heart. I know that when I again, this is what, 23 years ago, I had a breast cancer experience where I had to rely on friends and neighbors to either make sure that I got that I got my kids to school. Just that many of them would bring meals, especially when I would go through the chemo treatments. They would, be there to help my family, and it was hard. Honestly, the chemo, yeah, that was hard. The hardest part for me was allowing others to help me. I grew up with that admonition of it's better to give than receive, basically putting anybody who was in the receiving position in a lesser than position. And that sadly kind of stuck for a long time until I realized that, if you don't have a receiver, then what's the point of giving? Because if you're giving something that other people do not wish to receive, then you're just using them as a garbage dump. So keep that in mind, that as this month also has an element of decrease in the midst of all of this abundance, make sure that you are taking whatever you have in abundance and noticing if the people around you actually need what you're wanting to share, so that you're not treating them as the garbage dump. Um, but there are also, we've also seen a lot of signs, people who are involved in various natural disasters where they literally are stripped bare, and they now are very vulnerable, and they get to really evaluate what is the most important. So there's that part of the decrease card. It also kind of wants you to take a look at where you've been complacent. Where have, let's see, how's it my mom used to put it? Where have you become fat, dumb, and happy? And how can you appreciate the effort needed to move past this state of over comfort? That's not the right word. Overly comfortable. That's the better term. Where you want to have a lot of beautiful things around you, but maybe it's made you lazy. So kind of keep that in mind. And it's as I said, we're moving into the spring season. It's a great time to do the spring cleaning. So that's a great way of decreasing. That is a perfect time to cut back and just really evaluate, do you need everything around you like that? Okay, the third clarifying card, or second clarifying card, is this number 9. It's called the Taming Power of Small, and it has beautiful flowers surrounding a spider web with a big black spider in the middle. And the on this one, the bottom trigram is Qian, which is yang metal, and the top trigram is Sun, which is yin wood. Yin wood is again like the flowers, the climbing vines, grasses, things that grow quickly but aren't necessarily strong like a tree. The Qian, that yang metal energy, that is more like the raw material, the raw like the ore, the copper ore, the unrefined metals, but it's also like an actual metal box, something to contain it. So this has the energy on here says, oops, self-restraint, self-sufficiency, careful preparations, resourcefulness, minor impediments, and adaptability. And the focus line on this is number 6. The this is about, again, more of a societal piece, because it's everything that's external. How are you relating to society? So it says, after so much hard work, the time has come for a well-deserved rest. Take full advantage now of this opportunity to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Be aware that the full-on energy that you have been required to put out now can easily relax. Life is supporting you to slow down. Don't fight it, and use the time to replenish your energy reserves from within. I know way too many friends who have really gotten themselves wrapped around the axle around recent changes on a local, state, national, global level, and one cannot keep going at that same level of frenzy, of frenzied joy, of frenzied uh, being upset and angry. That level cannot continue for long. So this is basically saying it's okay for you to kind of take a step back and relax a bit. It doesn't mean that you get to, just check out, but you can take a break. You can take a rest. Um, I love this. It says that the there this is now a time where you may not have the ability to change the situation that you're in. You can see the direction that things are going. You can't, you might be powerless to do anything about it. And so now focus on what you can. Again, coming back to spring cleaning. Yes, my little Virgo heart is loving this time of the year because I love going through things and deciding, ooh, this gets to stay, this doesn't get to stay, reorganizing. We may not have the ability to do, have a lot of influence on things outside of us. So we get to now really focus on what is going on inside of us, in our homes, in our workplaces. And I'm just saying, it's a perfect time of the year to get a feng shui update. It is a whole new energy. And I am just the person to help you. And if you are not, and if you already have your own person, that's great. Contact them. We will be happy to help you make sure that your space is ready, because there are some parts of your home that you really don't want to be messing with too much. But the last last clarifying card, hold on. I don't usually do this in the middle of a forecast, but it is clearly time for me to slow down a little bit and take a little drink. But the last card, Youthful Folly. This is number 4. This trigram has the cotton trigram, water, underneath the Gen, yang, earth trigram. And part of the reason why this is called Youthful Folly is when you're trying to build something, or you have like a big rock and it's on top of water, that water will eventually erode the foundation. Water is about emotion. Water is about um, kind of wanting to bubble up and just it gets wasted trying to move around this big heavy earth energy. The words on so for those who can't see the picture, it is that of a person with uh, black hair being blown backwards, long black hair being blown backwards, and they are wearing very colorful clothing while balancing on a balance beam, a tight wire. He says, we don't see the face, so we can't tell if they're feeling confident or if they're terrified, but they are definitely being blown about on this tight rope with one foot connected to it. The terms here are impulsiveness, immaturity, bluffing, ignorance, learning, impatience, and reckless behavior. The focus line on this is line 3. And so again, this is our own personal way of we as we are coming out of our internal process and of how we are getting ready to engage in the outside world. This number 3 says when little thought is given to the deeper ramifications of your actions, there is a wild ride quality to life. When you become too fixated on reaching the goal of the moment, you risk overlooking the deeper lessons that are being offered to you now. A timeout may be in order to take a wider look around any details of the landscape that you might have missed by following too narrow of a vision. We have in our world right now many leaders who have gotten very fixated on the way things should look and making decisions that, well, may or may not pan out well in the long run. That's that too narrow of a vision. This is why having many different um, diverse viewpoints actually it may make the process go slower, but it makes the process more inclusive and longer lasting. When you are when you get too attached to a certain idea, let me kind of just back up a tiny bit. I don't think it's wrong to have to be absolutely focused on where you want to go and where you want to be long term. I think the challenge happens with any situation, whether it's what your diet plan, your diet goals are, or your career goals, uh, you know, goals for leading a group. I think it is an excellent idea to have that goal, but it's the attachment to the goal that gets people in trouble. Now, when I'm not saying that you need to let go of trying to achieve whatever it you're doing, but if you don't make that, if you don't actually reach that number on the scale, as you are taking all of the necessary steps to get towards it, then but then you miss that mark. Maybe you get within like 2 or 3 pounds of it. Did that mean that you failed? No. It meant that you succeeded in working towards that goal. It meant that you enjoyed the journey. You took all the necessary steps. You ate right. You exercised. You had the right mindset. But perhaps that elusive goal, that number, just was not right now in the cards. And it could be that because you were attached to that being the only idea of success. Is that true? No. Does that mean that you're a total failure? Absolutely not. Um, Attachment is one of the biggest reasons why people come to me for intuitive coaching, because they're attached to a relationship working out, or they're attached to a particular job coming their way. Their attachment is what causes the pain, not the going towards it. I love that the book, The Explainer, on the back to this Youthful Folly card, one of the things that they say on it is the classic tale of showing this is that of the Sorcerer's Apprentice, where most of us have seen the Mickey Mouse cartoon where Mickey figures out how to do some of these spells, and he gets all of the brooms dancing and the carrying the water and does his chores for him, but then he decides that, okay, well, I've got that going, I'm going to take a nap now, and chaos ensues. Thankfully, the sorcerer comes back and is able to use his more powerful magic to avert a disaster, but things don't look real good there for a while. um, you have to maintain awareness and be mindful about the consequences of your actions. This month, especially, those consequences of your actions may have long-term ramifications that you don't have any clue about and certainly wouldn't want to have. So that is what I have for you. This energy goes from today, February 3rd, through March 4th. The clash animal for this month is the monkey. So if you are born in the year of the monkey, or if you have monkey in any of the other pillars in there, um, August, if you were born in August, this is your clash month. Clashes are not bad. They just means friction. And it can be like refining. This might be the opportunity, the month where you get your promotion, because that's friction that you have to learn a whole new skill set. It could be the month where you get a different job. It could be the month where you end up not getting to stay at your job. And that's a possibility too. But then that also gets back to the filling out the taming power of the small and, possibly the decrease. So it's possible that there may be some downskilling of, or downward pressure on some employment. But it could be simply a transformation. Those who are born with horse and dog in their energy, in their Chinese astrology, this is your 3 harmony month. So there could be some romance coming your way. There would be a possibility of seeing new opportunities coming your way. And those who have pig in your Chinese astrology chart, this is both the 6 harmony and the destruction pillar. Not pillar, the destruction combination. Pig is going to be a little bit more the romantic. So this is going to be their month to just really pull out the stops for romance. Destruction, though, again, it sounds scary. It just means it's a perfect opportunity to break some bad habits. If you've been smoking, great month to stop. If you have not been exercising, this is a great month to start an exercise routine. It is about taking what has not been working and destroying it. So I hope that really helps you guys. If you have any questions, you can certainly chat with me in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you want your own Chinese astrology chart, you can go. I'll have the link below in the show notes so that you can book that. And I will also have the link to the replay of the annual energy update that I did on the 28th of January. All right, thank you so much, and enjoy your February. Just because we've got Valentine's Day in there doesn't mean that you can, don't have to. You can show love any time of the year. I'm a little bit of a romantic that way. I do love my little presents. That whole what is your 5 love language? Yeah, I like the gifts. I also like quality time. So, but anyway, I hope that works for you, and I'll talk soon.